How do you compete with the big promises of LLC Twitter? Or how do you stand out and compete in a world where anyone can say anything about money? They can promise massive returns with minimal effort and zero expertise. How do you deal with that? It's a question that I got, and I'm excited to talk about this because the problem isn't going anywhere. In fact, it'll probably only get worse and worse as time goes by. But as a law-abiding and high-integrity tax professional or financial services pro, you got to live here. So how do you do it? We're going to use the T strategy. T is an acronym, and we're talking about tone, education, and evidence. I shouldn't have gave you that. You can stop watching the video now. But I hope you sit and listen for a moment. Those individuals in that world, more shady world, promising you could be a millionaire overnight, for example, their tone is they're always promising benefit. That's all they ever do. As they tell you can be rich, they tell you how rich they are. They're telling you about their trips around the world. They're taking pictures with the Ferrari. And we all want to succeed. The whole point of being in this space is to maximize our financial outcomes and to make our lives better, simpler, legacy stronger, right? But the reality is, if someone's only ever talking about, the only thing they ever talk about is getting rich, being rich, flossing their riches, then there's an appeal to that. Understand, there is an appeal to that. And that's why people fall into that trap. But you can do better. You still want to promise the biggest and boldest claims that you can back up. And you still want to make it as simple and easy as possible to access the benefits you provide. But your tone should be more of based in reality. You're helping people. You're living here in this world. So the things that are happening in the world, it's not all about how many millions of dollars you can stack in the bank. I mean, those things you weave them in, of course, but your tone is not, look how rich I am. I can't wait to make you rich too. Or everyone's trying to keep you from being rich except for me. That's the tone of the dark side. and you want to have a tone of a helper and a person who empowers. So that's the T, tone. E is for education. I'll say similarly, the people on the LLC Twitter side, they're not really educating. And you can over-educate. I've talked about that before. I'm not saying become an encyclopedia, but you should weave in educational elements to help people understand. Not everybody will buy from you, of course, or not everyone will hire you. So you can still help people who don't buy from you by educating. But when you educate, even the people who do buy from you, they're empowered to improve their lives. And the more they feel they have control over their lives, the more, the better clients are going to be, the happier they're going to be, the better their outcomes actually are going to be, of course. And so, but when you add education and you set yourself up as an expert and authority, but you're also showing so when people see you, you make big promises, but you're also helpful. You're also a source of empowerment for the reader. And they can tell the difference between someone who only shows off the boats and the things and someone who's bringing information to empower their lives. So you want to be a source of education as well. Now, again, don't give away everything, but you want to educate. And then E, this finally is evidence. So again, a lot of times the people on the other side, they're making claims, they don't back them up, or they're claiming that they have evidence, but it's just the Ferrari, or it's stories that we don't really know if they're true or not. Or a lot of times they're not even supposed to be true. It's like, imagine this story, and stories are good. Testimonials, that if you're permitted to use them, are great. And that's where you want to have your evidence. Your evidence comes in proving that you're an expert with your credentials, with your knowledge of the tax code or what have you, with your understanding of and perception or perspective on current events and things that are happening, unfolding in the real world. And evidence with, again, testimonials You want to prove that you're an expert. You want to prove that the opportunity you're talking about is real and is here and is accessible to the people you're talking to. And you want to prove that the outcomes that you provide, the outcomes that you deliver, are real. So if you can do the TEE, you'll differentiate yourself and make your marketing powerful and attractive to the people you want to work with, and it will bring them into your world in a way where they're ready to they're more ready to take action. They're going to be less skeptical, and also even the people who don't work with you, they'll be less inclined to go down the dark path. One other thing that I'll say: in your education, as you're creating content, you should point out errors. When these scams are out here, talk about them. Your content can be 80%, 90% positive and empowering, on the positive side, but 10, 20% pointing out errors, pointing out pitfalls, pointing out misinformation that's out there. And when you do that, you stand out. LLC Twitter is going to tell you this thing is keeping you poor, and they make you feel bad, make you feel duped. And those feelings are powerful. And I'm not saying don't use those feelings, but use it for good. And you won't be sorry. And you'll position yourself to compete and win your fair share and more of the clientele that's out here. I hope that's helpful, and looking forward to sharing more content in the days ahead.